O'Neill says PNG has insufficient forestry data. Climate change a real threat for Lihir Islanders. And EMTV is the official FIFA broadcaster.
This is National EMTV News with Hope Imaka.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. This is Wednesday's news. The logging industry in the country generates over 300 million kina annually as revenue, but a lack of solid data has resulted in negative publications made about the industry. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill says improvements were made in the logging and forestry sectors, but proper data is still lacking. When launching the first multi-purpose national forest inventory and RED Plus forest monitoring web portal today, he says updated data is needed in all sectors.
Papua New Guinea's forest cover is among the top 3 in the world, but the country is faced with many challenges trying to update its data on forest cover, logging, and different trees and plant species. Since independence, foresters have made assumptions about the country's forest cover because of the limited availability of data. The Forest Authority has partnered with international agencies like the European Union, JICA, and other development partners recently to collect accurate data on forest cover and related activities. Today, another milestone has been launched. The launching of the multi-purpose National Forest Inventory will enable foresters to count every 5th tree from 3, 10, 15, and 25 meters apart. The program will be carried out nationwide and when completed, will provide the first updated data on forest cover in PNG. During the launch, Prime Minister O'Neill says lack of data in all sectors has resulted in PNG being ranked poorly in the development goals of the United Nations.
So that is why taking good data that is going to give us good information is very important. And with the support of our friends from EU, UNFAO and JICA and many more, it is important that we work with these internationally reputable partners in ensuring that we have the right data.
Forest Minister Douglas Tumoriasa says the forest inventory will provide figures that will enable the government to protect the forest.
And this National Inventory Program is a program that I look forward to seeing to come to fruition, to completion, so that through this National Inventory Program, we will have the data available, we will have the figures available to protect this matter.
Despite claims by international organizations that PNG is exporting illegal logs, PNG FA Acting Managing Director Goodwill Amos says the country maintains 80% of forest cover and brushed aside these claims.
These are figures that are confirmed by 2 studies, one by the JICA and PNG FA, and also by the FAO and PNG FA, that came up with the same figure, that 80% of our total land area is covered in forest, and 60% of that is still intact.
Logging industries generate over 300 million kina annually for PNG. Quinten Alomp, National EMTV News.
Climate change is fast becoming a reality for the people of Putput village of Lihir Island in the New Island province. It has left many older people on the island looking for solutions to save their customary land from going under. It's a battle against nature that they know they will eventually lose, but they haven't given up hope yet. Edwin Fidelis reports.
Putput village sits along the eastern coastline of Lihir Island, one of the larger islands in the New Island archipelago. Census estimates put the total population of the island at around 18,000. In the last 10 years, the growth of mining activities on the island has forced the people to be relocated to unoccupied areas along the coast that once used to be their hunting and fishing grounds. But here you can see the severity of the problem. A combination of the mine waste disposal at sea and rising sea level have made sea swell a daily challenge for the people here, as their new home is now at the mercy of nature. It's a worry for the older generations who are looking for answers to save the land for their grandchildren.
Young people, parece ibida tigrik tasal now. Aliwa orang malap na kumbang na roksi.
Newcrest Mining Limited, the operators of the Lihir gold mine, sees the need to conserve this traditional land, so it assisted the Putput community to build this seawall, one of many on the island.
Si hindi finish, aninit lang das plan diwaya. Inside lang house boya, roots lang ay mikamanda finish. Naninit lang ni nakat also nakat ang ground now.
Here you get a sense of the absence of the much talked about government's plans and strategies to address the impacts of climate change in coastal communities in the country. The ongoing talks about reducing carbon emissions and relocating climate change refugees appears to be so far from reality on the ground.
Sa solwaray kalabing tayam. Site long mi plana walong community by mi play lugluken. By mi play lugluken na bringing some ting ken.
In recent years, many coastal communities all over the country are facing land shortages as much of the land have been taken up by sea. In the next 10 years, or perhaps less than that, the people in many coastal villages will be relocated. Much of their relocations are not certain. Relocating people would mean negotiating with other landowners who, for the most, may not be willing to give up their land. Edwin Fidelis in Lihir Island, National EMTV News.
PNG Power Acting Chief Operating Officer Martin Bigeland says the JICA-funded study of the Ramu system and the lay distribution system will show the improvements needed to ensure electricity without disruption. The recommendations will be released after the study is completed and presented to PNG Power's top management and board. It will come amidst ongoing public demands to improve power supply to lay. Bethany Harriman with this report.
The chronic power blackouts in Leh City has been a problem for the public and business houses for over a decade. Much of the blackouts in Leh have been caused by technical faults that range from damaged power lines to old equipment. Leh is growing. In the next 5 years, there will be 5 tuna factories. The Wafi gold mine will be in operation and the Leh wharf will berth ships. Many of the industries developing in Leh will need a steady supply of power.
JICA is a study done by Newjack, a company from Japan, and they're doing a study on the Ramu system and the Leh distribution system.
PNG Power's Acting Chief Operating Officer Martin Bigeland says a recent study funded by the Japanese government and conducted by a Japanese engineering firm will identify areas of improvements.
And for the longer term, they're doing the whole Ramu system study. That includes all the generation, transmission, distribution, and that will cater for 2016 to 2030. So once that comes in, we hope to see an improvement in the reliability of power in the Ramu system, which includes Leh, Madang and the island centers.
But as the wait continues, PNG Power has been in crisis this week. There are ongoing changes in the top management posts. The company has a chief executive officer and a managing director.
While top management spots are getting sorted out, Leh, Madang and parts of the highlands have to wait for the JICA study to be completed and the recommendations made public to the top management and the national government.
But today, some level of positivity. New cars for the Leh branch. Though it marks change, some long-serving workers say the cars need to be looked after by younger members of the company. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News, Leh.
National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. PNG Defence Force health workers today completed a 3-day mental health care workshop conducted by the Health Department. Governor-General Grand Chief Sir Michael Ogio presented them with their certificates. Sir Michael said that mental health care in PNG has been neglected for too long.
For the first time, PNG Defence Force health workers received training in primary mental health care. The workshop was led by psychiatrist Dr. Ambi and Dr. Hagali, who covered topics on what mental illness is and types of mental illnesses and what causes them. They also touched on anxiety, post-traumatic disorder, and had group discussions on strengthening mental health services in PNG Defence Force. Captain Popat Samson said that the training was important and that in his 30 years in the PNGDF, he could now finally understand why mental health care is important to soldiers.
We can help soldiers at our unit to address issues concerning why soldiers are behaving in such a way on the street, because they were not managed well. And one of the biggest is the post-traumatic stress, or otherwise the military terms it as a battle stress syndromes.
Lieutenant Colonel Peter Kaminil, Director for the PNGDF Health Services, said that human resource is one of the most important things for any organization.
It's during your normal working time, or you're on deployment within the country or in an overseas mission, being in a perfect and a healthy state of mind, you will be able to perform to your maximum.
Governor General Grand Chief Sir Michael Ogio, who presented the certificates, congratulated them and thanked Dr. Ambi and Dr. Hagili for providing the vital training. He also touched on Mental Health Policy 2010. He said the policy envisioned minimizing the number of people becoming ill from mental illnesses and minimizing the number of deaths caused by mental illnesses. Sir Michael said training was important, especially when it comes to policy development for transition and reintegration of ex-PNGDF personnel back into civilian society.
Mental fitness are a key component of PNGDF's overall capability.
Adelaide Sirok, Kari National, MTV News.
A woman charged for unlawful wounding had her case dismissed from the Waigani Committal Court on technical grounds this morning. Senior Magistrate Cosmas Bidar made the ruling on the grounds that no witnesses have appeared in court to testify against the defendant, Brenda Kent. The court has also ordered the refund of her 1,000 kina bail money.
This case was first mentioned on 25th October last year. This morning, Senior Magistrate Cosmas Bidar told the court that it is one thing to arrest and criminally charge a person, but it is another thing to prosecute the matter in court. A trial date was set for 18th February this year, but was vacated when the witnesses failed to appear in court. The matter was adjourned to today, but dismissed on technical grounds. It was reported that on 18th October last year, Ken stabbed another woman, Lucy Digine, on her right thigh. Digine was rushed to the Paradise Private Hospital, and medical reports presented in court revealed that she suffered a 2 to 3 centimeter deep wound to her right thigh. It is understood both women were married to the same man, Jerry David, at the time of the offense. When the case was dismissed this morning, Kent walked out of the courtroom with a smile on her face. Thekla Gunga, National, MTV News.
The Waigani National Court will hand down a ruling on the Hela governor's seat tomorrow afternoon. Judge Eric Hariko told lawyers representing both Koma Magarima MP Francis Potape and Hela Governor Anderson Agiru that he will be ready with his decision tomorrow. The battle for the governor's seat started last December when Hela Provincial Assembly executives voted Potape as governor on the grounds that the province was lacking basic government services. The matter was taken to court and ran for over 3 months. Today, at least 300 supporters gathered outside the courthouse expecting a court decision. However, the decision was adjourned to tomorrow. The Waigani Committal Court was told that there were no police instructions on a court case involving a senior police officer accused of freeing a suspect charged for threatening and unlawful assault. The incident occurred in Port Moresby last November between Gordons and Barocco. Defendant Senior Sergeant Michael was told to return to court on March 23rd because no police evidence was presented in court since he first appeared. Tekla Gunga reports.
In February, the committal court heard that Sergeant Michael allegedly allowed a suspect charged for threatening and unlawful assault to escape from police custody. The suspect, including 4 others, were transferred from the Gordon's police station to Boroko on November 7th last year. However, on November 9th, 2015, the complainant, Fred Gary, was told the suspect was never taken to the Boroko cells. Sergeant Michael appeared for first mention on February 4 and was charged for 1 count of permitting escape under Section 140 of the Criminal Code Act. Today he appeared for a second mention, but Senior Magistrate Cosmos Bidar had his case adjourned to March 23rd. His bail was also extended. Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
A family from Goilala residing in the Maratha 1 suburb in Port Moresby said they were surprised to learn that their home belonged to someone else. Kenny Peter claims to own the home at Maratha 1 in 2000, but without a proper title. She said attempts to secure the title at the Lands Department were quashed because her neighbor had the title.
Yesterday, Kenny and her underage children, nieces and nephews, along with her auntie Rita Moy, spent the night outside in the open air. During the day, they were forcefully evicted from the home by 5 aggressive policemen, 4 dressed in uniform and 1 in civilian clothes. When asked why they were being evicted, the men aggressively swore at them and told them that the land belongs to someone else. They even threatened Rita, who is in her mid-50s, that they would burn her inside the house if the family refused to move out.
Okay. You come, mama, you come now. By having 6 o'clock, you must move more, get a something. We play on a block, more plus something is stable. You 1 time, no can stable. 6 o'clock, we play come back in, but we play cooking more, get something. You 1 time, but we play Benny more, get something.
Without hesitating, Rita brought her 4 grandchildren, aged 2 to 6 years old, and removed their belongings from the house. Without presenting a valid court order, the policemen proudly told Kenny and Rita that they were from Waigani Police Station and they got the direction from Police Commissioner Gary Baki, Metropolitan Superintendent Ben Turi, and the Waigani Police Station Commander.
Maybe government, police, all get the line, all stable. Come all walk inside, existence belong all, why all walk inside, lo, Papua New Guinea, mating, belong all tasolo, look, big shot.
Meanwhile, the NCD Central Commander ACP Sylvester Kalaut has warned police officers that anything to do with eviction must come to him first. He will only direct police to conduct evictions upon the presentation of a national court order. Fasinata Yama, National EMTV News.
In response to claims made by Rita Moy and Kenny Peter, their neighbor Jennifer Nibba and former landlord Bevelyn Wangilan fronted up at EMTV office to tell their side of the story. Wangilan claimed that the family was squatting on the said location long before she and her husband Otto bought the land. She said they had merely shown pity by letting them stay as caretakers until she sold the land. Nibba, who bought the land from the Wangilan family, claims she initially filed for a court mediation to discuss the land transfer and eviction, but the Moy and Peter family did not show up. She presented a state lease and eviction notice to support her story. Meanwhile, NCD and Central Divisional Commander Sylvester Kalaut has confirmed that the Maratha eviction is legal. Kalaut told EMTV News this afternoon that all legal proceedings were completed and police only acted on the eviction based on the court order. He said the 2 women also visited his office earlier today and they were told the same thing.
Reaffirm the police position here is that the eviction was lawfully conducted. Basically because the complainant, who is the legal owner of the property, went to courts regarding the property. She's a female, she has obtained a court order, and those people who were illegally residing on a property did not move. And the court order that the female owner of the property got was in November of 2015. And these people were supposed to leave the property after 30 days, but they failed to vacate the property. So the female owner of the property went back to court and she got a summary ejectment order. So summary ejectment order is the order that empowers police to help the complainant to have access to a property. So the police assisted her to use reasonable force to have access to the property, and that was what they did yesterday. And
City Pharmacy Limited launched its 10th Pride of PNG Women's Awards initiative in Port Moresby today. This is part of CPL's efforts to empower women by recognizing their contribution to the country.
While there has been much emphasis and focus on women's empowerment and development in the country, the Pride of PNG Women's Awards is no exception. Today marks the significant milestone in the lives of those inspirational women who are at the forefront of the country's development. Representing PNG women folk to officially launch this program was woman advocate and the wife of the Prime Minister, Linda Baba O'Neill.
I'd like to officially open this year's 2016 Pride of PNG Awards. Thank you.
City Pharmacy Limited Chairman Mahesh Patel, speaking during the event, said the Pride of PNG Women's Awards recognizes the work of women leaders in the country.
There are two ways of spreading light: to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. For 10 years now, CPL has dared to be the mirror reflecting the light of the unsung heroic women of Papua New Guinea.
One of the awards recipients presented was 2014 Young Women PNG Award recipient Bronwyn Kelly.
When I won the award and when I started gaining recognition from not just CPL but from other people, I realized how important the work that I was doing was. And the work that I do, it's my passion, and getting that support from the community and from CPL and from everyone else, it actually motivates me to continue to do it.
She thanked CPL for recognizing a community service work in the country and for creating a pathway for other young women to participate in International Women's Forum. This initiative is supported by media partners Post Korea, EMTV and PNG FM. Eric Arupma, National EMTV News.
And now looking at our finance news. The kina closed at $0.3265 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3190 US, $0.4262 Australian dollars, $0.2867 euro, and 35.68 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee and copra closed higher, while gold and cocoa closed the day lower. Palm oil and copper closed lower, while crude oil closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 109.85 points lower, the ASX closed at 30.64 points higher, and the All Ordinaries closed at 42.11 points higher. More local and international news after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Hagen Park Secondary in Mount Hagen City will adapt Telecom PNG's Clean It program. This project comes under the Telecom Foundation and has been in existence for the past decade, reaching schools in the country. Upon Hagen Park's invitation, the Telecom team from the regional office in Mount Hagen visited the school on Monday to talk about this program. Highlands Regional Sales Manager Simon Kama said it is important for school students to have this program because it enhances their knowledge. At the same time, it is safe because the Clean It project monitors and sets restrictions on certain sites. School Principal Tony Buldung said the school administration and board are considering this program.
It's been the only school that within the heart of the city has not have access to this.
We are now living in a technological world. IT is the way forward, so I'd like to have this one in our program here so that it will assist our students to enhance their learning.
Youth in the autonomous region of Bougainville now have some idea of what processes to follow when presenting issues to political leaders. The youths attended the Mock Youth Parliament program, an initiative to equip youths with confidence, self-esteem and problem-solving skills to represent their communities. Youths who participated said the initiative is helpful to link problems and present to leaders in a more appropriate manner.
The mock parliament exercise is funded through a youth initiative project under the Australian DFID program. The United Nations Population Fund, or UNFPA, partnered with the National Youth Development Authority and World Vision to facilitate the exercise. Youths all over Bougainville attended the workshop in Buka. Most say the exercise was helpful.
Involved this like in training. Me believe by me play sabe long procedure. Long how by me play sabe bring him all heavy blow me play come on top. Now by say come all get along long floor blow parliament do you mean.
Most expressed that there were correct steps to bring to the leaders problems of the community, but most lacked the know-how. 43 youths participated in the exercise and will be relaying the message back to the constituency.
And stand up, na makim all because me plus tap one time youth law community. We know what they feel, we know what they see as problems unsolved. We only expecting more leader to solve them, but they.
Me as a youth, me like raising voices blow youths blow out. Na me like raising all issues blow me blow youths blow win.
The first mock youth parliament was conducted in 2013, which 40 youths attended. The Bougainville House of Representatives is also running similar exercise with the aim of supporting youths and knowing the problems. Jack Lopave Jr. National EMTV News.
A group of women in Leh had the opportunity to share ideas with visiting American speaker at the PNG's Women Forum held recently. Saran Kaba-Jones from the U.S. Embassy spoke of successful entrepreneurship ideas with women who attended.
These women in Leh were part of the audience for visiting speaker to PNG for the Women's Forum. Today's gathering in Leh was aimed at educating more women to be engaged and successful in entrepreneurship in their homes. The gist of the open discussions was to motivate these women to become self-reliant and empowered in business and rise up as women with power in society. The visiting speaker, Saran Kaba-Jones, who is also a successful entrepreneur in America, says women in PNG communities have a potential to excel in business when gender inequality is ironed out.
Gender-based violence is a huge problem here, but I'm also really inspired by their resilience and their strength. And I've come across a lot of women and a lot of women's groups that are taking, actions at the household level, at the community level, to try and address some of these issues.
Most that turned up for the meeting were average SME owners with cooking, tailoring, and trade store business skills. Some said being successful in a business takes passion and hard work.
When you have an idea you got, you sit down around inside the community, you try and talk to one mama inside the community and find out when you can passion only got instead some you yet that's all working.
Women empowerment in PNG continues to be an area that most women leaders in the country have been pushing for. Following yesterday's International Women's Day that's aimed at promoting gender equality, women in Leh plan to achieve more in business. But for many, it will be a steep learning curve as they strive towards it. Colin Barilai, National EMTV News, Leh.
And now heading overseas, for thousands of migrants who made it to Greece, they did not find the new homes they were hoping for. That includes thousands of migrants sent to an abandoned airport in Athens. So many people used to travel freely, they must simply wait to learn their fate.
Jet planes left to rust on a runway in Athens, a former airport. This vast space was converted into an Olympic park more than a decade ago. And now it is home to thousands of refugees stranded in Athens. Laundry lines the entrance to the terminal. Most here are from Afghanistan, but also Pakistan, Iran, and Morocco, barred from crossing the border because they are considered to be from a safe country. While they wait in limbo, this is where the Greek government has placed them until they can find more permanent shelter.
I want you to take a look at this. It's almost as though they've preserved it as a kind of a museum or a time capsule. And if you can see up here, they still have some of the signs up. Paris, now boarding, London on time. There's something very surreal about having them camped out at an abandoned airport. Every hour, planes used to leave here for Paris or London, and now all of those refugees want to get to those exact destinations, but they can't. So there's nothing for them to do but to wait.
At the former stadium, where Olympians once competed for gold, Afghan kids now play with a deflated ball. Residents invited us in to see how an estimated 3,000 people are living here.
This is a pretty extraordinary scene. We have families sleeping out here in these abandoned buildings, children, mothers.
Inside, a sea of gray UN blankets supplemented with thin, padded sleeping mats. There are no beds, only the occasional cot. It took 1 month for Mustafa Saidi to get here from Kabul with his wife and 2 daughters, smuggled in by car and boat.
It was so dangerous.
Like so many here, he has only one destination in mind.
Germany.
Why Germany?
So Germans accept the refugee. So they decided to go there.
But the borders are closed now.
So yes, we're praying for God.
This is the warehouse of souls the Prime Minister of Greece warned his country would become. Not a refuge, but a purgatory of fading hopes and broken dreams.
EMTV is the official broadcaster of the FIFA Women's Under-20 World Cup Soccer. I'll bring you the details after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. EMTV is the official broadcaster of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. In partnership with FIFA, the world event to be showcased in November this year will be delivered free to air on EMTV. Viewers can also get access to exclusive content and features on the EMTV mobile app and via EMTV online streaming. Lorraine Genia reports.
EMTV has proven itself to be a leader in the broadcasting of live sporting events throughout the region, and the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup will provide free-to-air mass-market viewing to watch a world-class sporting event on your number one to watch. EMTV's capacity will allow for viewers to have access to exclusive content on the EMTV mobile app and via EMTV online streaming for international viewers. And to ensure maximum coverage, the event will be broadcasted on all platforms, including radio and pay TV. EMTV's role is to ensure viewership is maximised, and this will be done through a working partnership with the host broadcaster. Media New Guinea Limited Chief Executive Officer Banu Sood assured that EMTV will be working with the host broadcaster to develop a world-class broadcast of the event. With the World Cup becoming a reality for Papua New Guinea, the 5th of August will mark a milestone with 100 days remaining till kick-off. In the meantime, the local organising committee will begin operational groundwork, including marketing, ticketing sales and awareness through the media, with the confidence in delivering the World Cup to FIFA standards. Lorraine Genia, National EMTV News.
The Telecom National Soccer League game between 9-time NSL champions Hekari United and Wellgrease Morobay United today saw the Reds defeating Wellgrease with a commanding 5-0 win. Hekari United will now face their strongest rival and last year's cup winners, Lay City Dwellers, who also thrashed PKA Rapatona 5-0 over in Lay.
Table clash.
Hekari wasted no time in the first minutes of the game, with the familiar attacking style saw striker Tommy Sami on fire with numerous goal attempts, before a build-up play from the midfield to set up Sami with an opening goal.
And Tommy Sami finishes off.
And the Reds kept the pressure on Wilgris' half end of the field, the vocal midfield led by captain David Muta, picking out his attacking forwards, with through balls that led to the second goal of the afternoon.
And it's goal number 2.
Wilgris fought back, spreading the ball out wide, Bekin Yanum and Semi Hiob keeping pressure on Hekari's backline defense. However, Hekari's new signing Felix Komolong and central defender Tekieta Romuera kept the attacking side at bay. In the second half, the return of utility midfielder Tutizama Tanito, with his impressive running pace with the ball, got him to register his first goal with the club this season.
And it is Wira Wama laying off for Tutizama Tanito to score.
Hekari added another 2 more goals to their tally to further extend their lead by a commanding 5-goal win over Wilgris.
Options of opportunities of attacking and they were there, but you know, a man down playing against 11, you cannot go against Hekari. So that's where the opening came and the goals were coming through. Yeah.
Hekari will face Lay City Dwellers this Saturday, which will be one of the biggest clash of this season, after Lay City Dwellers coming away with a 5-0 win over Rapatona in Lay. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
Chukai Sports continues after the break. We'll have cricket, rugby union and rugby league.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome back to Chukai Sports. After a month of pre-season matches, the Capital Rugby Union will commence its season proper this weekend. Both fields at the Bava Rugby Park will be available until FIFA World Cup preparatory work commences. Following the results from the 7s and 15s pre-season, Harlequins, Wanderers, Brothers and Defence remain the top teams tipped for this year's titles. The first Premier match kicks off at 2 p.m. on Saturday, with University taking on Southern Chiefs and Defence up against Brothers in an afternoon match. At the end of this season, the top 8 teams of a combined points ladder will make up the Premier Division, while the bottom 4 will relegate to A Division and the B Division will be reinstated to the competition for 2017. SP PNG Hunters coach Michael Marum announced his team for their Round 2 clash this weekend against Wynnum Manly Seagulls. Ate Binawabo and Adex Wera will be missing from this weekend's match after being suspended by Queensland Rugby League. Watson Boas will now join brother Ase in the halves.
Adam Corrado will also be missing from this weekend's match, while Noel Zemming has been cleared to play after suffering from a minor knee injury. Apart from Zemming, coach Michael Marum confirmed there are no other injury concerns.
Few boys with shoulders were tobo as a boss, but they're all minors from last year. But then just need physio work. So we got full medical team assessing all the players now. So yeah.
Adex Wera and Atebina Wabo are facing a 1-match suspension after a lifting tackle on a Magpies player in last week's match. This will see Watson Boas take on the 5'8" role and play alongside big brother Ase.
Yeah, last week he played in the second half. Towards the end, first half and then second half, he played in a halfback role there. So, but first time to be starting in the starting team.
Marum said Wynnum Manly Seagulls will be a tough team, and they won't be taking them lightly.
Wynnum Manly this weekend has been tough. We haven't won at their own ground in the last 2 years, so, and including the semi-final last year against Jets. So we need to sort that record out.
They play the Seagulls on Sunday at the Calgary Oval in Wynnum at 3:30 p.m. The Hunters play the first home game next week at the National Football Stadium. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
A trial match will be played next Saturday between the Mount Hagen Wampanga Eagles and the Lay Snacks Tigers in Mount Hagen. Eagles chairman Bob Pakindi says this will be a selection process for Eagles to determine a 25-man final squad for the Intercity Cup. The chairman also confirmed that Wampanga Group of companies will continue the sponsorship this year, also supported by member for Hagen Open and State Investment Minister William Duma. He said most of the players have been retained from last year's squad.
Last year team, so I'm implementing the same team. We probably more lost our camp now. They right now start training. This I'm number one aim plan now for this year. Last year we play knockouts. After some years, couple of years, we play knockouts. So this year we play. Was one last stepping stone. We play. We walk from there.
And that ends Trukai Sports. I'll have the weather details when we come back.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Your weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, some showers for all centers. In the Masa region, mostly fine for Leh, shower or two for Madang and Wewak, and some showers for Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands, some showers for Lorengau and Kavieng, and mostly fine for Kokopo, Rabaul, Kimbe and Buka. And in the Highlands region, some showers for all centers. Now recapping our top stories for tonight. O'Neill says insufficient forestry data has resulted in negative publicity, climate change a real threat for Lihir Islanders, and EMTV is the official broadcaster of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. And that's the news, sports and weather for tonight, Wednesday the 9th of March. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Hope Imaka. Pleasant viewing. Good night.